Welcome back, everybody, to This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I'm your host, Perry, and back together for the first time in what feels like forever.
Feels like the first time.
I'm hanging out with the whiskey mutant himself.
It's me.
It's Eric.
It's us.
Hey, dude.
We're back.
We're back. I don't know, better than ever, maybe?
Faster, longer, stronger.
Work it harder, make it better.
Faster, stronger, longer, harder.
What a way to kick off a podcast episode.
I missed you.
I have missed you too. We have been apart for 2 weeks, which is as long as I was away from my family too. I was gone for work, and then Lucy and Eden were gone for a trip for a vacation. And I was very lonely in Lexington for a couple weeks, and everything's back to normal now for a little while.
Been a hardworking boy. And
then things are going to change up again. So that's just kind of how it goes.
Big changes.
Big changes. Yeah. First of all, I hope you all had a very happy Independence Day here in the United States, if you do indeed celebrate. But we I don't know. I'm hoping to get this episode out on Wednesday. There's a chance it's not gonna be. So I'm sorry,
baby. Let's do this.
I'm really sorry if it's not on time, but we are, by the time this comes out, less than a week away from having to move out of our house, which we're closing on. And we've got a lot of stress, and I really needed to record an episode. I really needed to just come and hang out and just get rid of some of that stress for a little while. That's I know you. We don't have to. Yeah, we don't have to talk about it on air.
Oh.
But you didn't have to take your hand away.
Oh, this is a Patreon.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What did I say?
He's in trouble. But if you do want to support the show, you can head to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month. For as little as $5 a month, there's a bunch of bonus content over there. That's all. I'm like I said a couple weeks ago, I'm trying to back off on the front end of doing plugs and whatnot, because it winds up being so heavy.
It's all
and
about
I
the
don't
finish, you know?
Well, it is. And, I just don't want people to turn off because they're like, it's just a big ad now.
I know.
It's not an ad now.
It's not. It's not.
But we do appreciate the support of everybody who's over there on Patreon. That's that. We normally start the show out with Flying Blind or Sips and Snacks. And it kind of sounds like we have a Sips and Snacks this week. So Eric's got a pairing for me to try out.
I'm gonna ask you a question first before we do this.
Okay.
Scoot over a little bit. I feel like I'm a little out there. What would you pair? You know, like the Ruffles that are like the bacon and cheddar chips.
Yeah.
What would you pair with those?
Ooh, okay. So you got little smoky,
almost a little sweet and savory.
Yeah. I am trying not to go off of recency bias and say Turkey 101 rye, but I feel like that wouldn't be a bad option because the spice would kind of fill in some of those cracks
that
you're missing. But if I were going to take it a little bit further, like a 95.5
Aha, now we're talking.
MGP rye.
All right. Can you get, it's the wax top, it's the copper wax top back there in the back.
All the way in the back? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say we're finally going to open.
Oh, God. One day. So, yes, I was saying a 95.5 rye. This is 108 proof. This is 8 years old from Nashville Barrel Company. It's a 95.5 rye from MGP. And we are going...
Ooh, gift shop exclusive.
Pair. Bacon and cheese crickets.
Oh, heck yes. Yes, dude. I've been wanting to do something weird recently. Crickets. Like they're fancy from France.
These are bacon and cheese crickets.
Okay, how many do you have in there?
That's quite a bit. You want some?
I would like to try one before going full hog.
There's plenty. Oh my God, they're full.
Yeah.
Like, there's little eyes on there and everything.
I have never eaten a bug before.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I ate a grasshopper when I was a kid. Like,
just a live grasshopper?
Yeah, as a dare. I've ate chocolate-covered ants.
Hi. That's me. You're probably wondering how I got here.
All right, here's one. Nice big chunker of a thing.
Cool. It doesn't have legs, so that's a... You really hit me with the bait and switch there, thinking that it was going to be chips.
Well, I was like, what is...
How do I introduce this?
All right, cheers.
All right. Cheers.
Fuck y'all.
Oh, now there's a dead cricket on the floor.
It tastes bacon and cheesy.
A little bit.
I think it's
It's really earthy.
the mind F factor where you're like when you hit that first like outer skin, it's very like crunch. You've definitely ate bugs before. You this is too natural for you.
I know. Maybe I have. I don't know.
It's just
I don't know, man. Maybe I've locked away that memory somehow.
it's the texture that they're like it's stuck in my teeth right now.
But I don't feel like the texture is any different from. I don't know. I mean, there's something very similar.
There's something very comforting about this.
Also, sorry if you hear fireworks in the background. It's out of our control. We're just two guys trying to record a podcast while we eat crickets.
On the 3rd of July.
I really have been like wanting to try crickets recently. Like Doka Ryan.
Oh yeah.
Did you watch that?
I haven't done the cricket. I haven't watched the cricket one. Did he put bugs in it? Cricket ones?
Yeah. It was jalapeno flavored crickets in dill pickle vodka.
Oh God. What did he do at the end? Just spoil it for me.
He almost threw up. He did his bone apple teeth. If you're not following this guy on Instagram, go do it. He does it's a more like highly focused produced thing where he'll take food items, put them in a jar and fill it up with alcohol and see how it reacts and everything.
Yeah.
And recently he did those crickets, and he always does like he tries to take a bite of the food if it like survives the week-long
when he did the
aging
chicken
process.
sandwich, I about gagged myself. He put a chicken sandwich in a jar for a
It
week.
still had like mayonnaise and
Yeah.
and he filled it up with Woodford.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Anyway, I want to get him on the show really
That'd
badly.
be amazing.
Yeah, so he took, okay, I'm trying to describe this the best way that I can. He dumped out all the liquid from it, right? So he had a container of alcohol and a container of crickets, wet crickets,
Right.
right? So he wanted to try the crickets, and he poured all of the crickets into his mouth. And the next shot is him going like screaming, and there are just bugs falling out of his mouth like The Exorcist or something.
God.
It was so good, man. It just a great payoff. But yeah, anyway. What was the point of telling that? I can't remember.
That we're eating crickets.
Yeah, we're eating
And
crickets.
you've been wanting to eat crickets.
I just want to try them. I'm one of those people where like I will try a weird food once.
Yeah.
I may as well. Like it you can only
I've been wanting to try really good bone marrow.
Oh, dude, I love
Like
bone
the
marrow.
they're good ones.
Yeah.
Not like
even like biting off the end of a chicken wing
yeah.
and eating the bone marrow that way. I love that.
Yeah.
It's such a
I
fun
haven't
little
done that in a while.
Oh. All right. Well,
This is a chunky monkey one.
This guy's got wings.
He had some Red Bull. Sorry, a little stupid.
I didn't mind it. Oh, are you doing a pour over?
We got to, right?
Yeah, you're right. Is a pour over or a dip into better?
Maybe like a...
I'm doing the dip.
I want to do a pour a little bit at the edge here.
Yeah.
And he's a dripping, so he's ready.
All right.
Cheers again.
Cheers again.
Actually,
not bad.
That takes the weird crunch out of it that I didn't like at the beginning.
It really does help bring out. This sounds like the most a-hole way of trying to describe something.
Go all
but you know
a-hole.
what I mean though, like trying to be like a sommelier or whatever.
As we're doing MGP rye and crickets.
But it brings out the like cheddar and bacon.
I know, yeah.
Flavor.
Now I really want some cheddar and bacon chips.
Yeah, I do too.
With this pairing. Nice.
It's so weird that it just doesn't bother me.
Even like it doesn't bother me when I start eating it, but like the first
no, it's not like even that. I have no
the first
no issue.
Crunch gets me. I don't know.
I wouldn't do spiders. I probably would do spiders.
You would do spider,
but like apparently tarantulas taste horrible.
Who tried them?
Red and Link.
Oh. Those guys. Of course they did.
Of course they did. They'll do anything.
But chocolate covered ants were good, but like it was more of like just chocolate and like just a crunch in the middle.
Yeah.
They could have put a little piece of dirt in there and I wouldn't even know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What a different thing that we've done here on this podcast.
We're always keeping it different.
What other bourbon podcast can you find, for better or worse, where they are pairing whiskey with crickets? Literally none. None. This is the only one out there. Unless like Bourbon Daily did it or something.
Somebody's probably done it. I don't know. Somebody's going to call us out in the comments right now.
Yeah, probably.
But go ahead. Call us out in the comments. I don't give a crap because that just helps us because you commented.
I don't give a crap.
I don't give a crap if you put a comment about there.
Pardon my language, but I don't give a crap.
I don't give a rat's
You can tell my
butt.
mom.
Don't give a rat's butt.
Tell her what I said.
Tell your mom.
So I figured this is going to be kind of the crux of what we talk about for most of the episode until we get to our review. But I figured we would just kind of extend the what have you been drinking recently conversation into like catching up on
what we've been doing
too. Yeah, because I had an adventure out west, which was
I heard
crazy and wild, and I want to talk about that. And you've been a coastal resident for
I have
a couple weeks, so
I do want to say one thing before we go on.
Okay.
Before we do this, right at the top, right here, it's going to be quick. I am closing a chapter of my life. Right here on the show.
What do you mean?
I'm no longer
a virgin.
I finally did it, guys.
Zing! I got one. I got him.
No, I'm moving on from My Daily Bourbon as my rival. I am just like every great wrestling story. You got to move on and find a new heel, or you got to change gimmicks or something. I'm not changing anything. I'm just going to be on the hunt for a new rival.
You hate to see it, but you love to watch him go.
I mean, he's doing greater and cooler things these days, and he's just so professional. He's just not the same rival. So I'm moving on from My Daily Bourbon, and I'm currently on the hunt for a new rival. So if anybody has suggestions or they want to be my rival, let me know. But you got to be willing to come up with some good comebacks and do stuff, because lately, the greatest comeback he said to me lately, I just put in the effort that you're worth. How lame is that? And I knew at that moment.
That hurt my soul.
I knew at that moment he was done. He's done. So I'm going to let him be. And when I talk to Chad, my daily bourbon, it's just going to be normal, just like a normal conversation between two friends. So I'm currently on the lookout for a new rival.
How formal do you want this application process to be? Because we could set up a SurveyMonkey link.
Oh, I mean, we can go
have people, submit resumes.
Yeah, or at least just click on who they want to see me rival with.
Yeah, so I mean, they could screenshot or send usernames or whatever to @WhiskeyMutant.
Yeah. Oh, and we could do a live poll and see who they voted, and then I just go at them on as we record. I just make the first post that just goes at them.
But I was thinking too, like we can put in the description of the video, I guess the audio too, like a link where you can send a username, include like a link to their social media, a brief description.
Keep you anonymous.
Yeah. We're not going to put anybody on blast.
We don't put people on blast. That is not a good thing to do. Anybody who drinks whiskey and loves to share it with their friends and everything like that, just don't put people on blast.
Yeah. Also, maybe like in our range, like don't send Oprah. Don't send Ellen. Don't send Kelly Clarkson.
I just go after Ellen the whole time.
That would be really funny.
I love Kelly Clarkson.
Don't go after what's her name? She was on 50 First Dates. Drew Barrymore.
Oh, Drew.
Naming women who have talk shows.
God. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, and now we're back.
So I'm sorry that chapter in your life is concluded.
It was a good run.
Yeah,
it's been a good run.
Well, everybody loves a good comeback story.
Yeah. Well.
Anyway.
So,
what have you been doing? What have you been drinking? What have you been? Where have you been since last I saw you?
No, I have been. I started
around
out.
The world don't speak the language,
uh-huh.
but your booty don't need explain it.
I love that song.
It's not a good song, man.
I know, but still.
Do you want to try something blind too while we're?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, the first half of my time off was in Florida. Mm-hmm. I went to Orlando, stayed at a Disney resort. My daughter had volleyball, and so it was just me and her because following that tournament in Orlando, we were taking the whole family to Hilton Head, so I ended up there. So while I was in Orlando, in between games and different places, we'd go to like Disney restaurants, and we got to go to Hollywood Studios one night and stuff like that. But as far as whiskey goes, I packed a bottle of New Riff that I picked with Matt from Wrestling with Whiskey because he likes Disney as well, and I shoved it in his face that I was at Disney, and I drunk on that New Riff in the room. That was my room resort pour. I took a couple of other things in my aged and ore things. I had a Knob Creek, had a Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, had Jack Daniels Barrel Proof.
Yeah.
And
we packed very similarly for our trip.
Yeah, it was all barrel proof. I said I'm taking all barrel proofs in my travel things, and a 1792 full proof.
I haven't had a bottle of that in so long.
You can take one of those over there if you want. If you need some for the house.
Kind of do.
You can take one. I have one. I have a couple of picks, and then I have one that's just it by itself.
I do whatever. I don't care. I just appreciate the generosity.
Yeah, of course. So I went to Polite Pig at Disney Springs one night, and I had their single barrel flight. I had a Buffalo Trace pick. What else did they have? There was a Blanton's. What else? I think it's OWA. Nice. That's like their single barrel pick flight. That was good. I got to have. We went to I went to Riviera for brunch, and they made the I had an old fashioned, and they made the smoked turkey.
I had never had a smoked turkey before.
Yeah.
And I'm now realizing too, I have stuff I have to talk about from weeks ago
When you were,
when I was at Disney for, an overnight essentially. But I had two smoked turkeys at dinner. Like we screeched into a parking spot, grabbed Eden out of the car. We were still in like t-shirts and, driving clothes and whatever. And sit down, open the drink menu, smoked turkey. I was like, I need that right now, please.
Smoked turkey
Unbelievable
is
cocktail.
a Disney cocktail that uses Turkey 101, and you can look up the recipe. I can't remember everything, but it's good. I highly recommend that one.
It is very, very good.
So yeah, I had a lot of just random cocktails and stuff like at the resort when Addison wasn't playing volleyball, and then we packed up. We came back home and immediately turned around and went to Hilton Head. So I grabbed.
Cannot imagine.
I was thinking of when you text me and you were like, I couldn't imagine something, and I was like, I could imagine, and you took it like I was being a little pissed baby.
I was trying to be funny about it too, but it definitely came off like I was.
Perry basically said, "Oh, you're cooler than me."
No, that's exactly what I said,
and I was like, "Oh my god!"
And I wasn't trying to be.
Perry.
I was trying to joke about it, but I didn't. It just the tone of it was so off that it definitely sounded like I was mad at you.
I know. I was like, "Oh my god, what have I done?" Anyway, so we go to Hilton Head. I packed New Rough Rye. Talked about that on the pregame chats. Had a Eagle Rare pick, which I really love taking Eagle Rare to the beach because you gotta kind of have one of those pours that's low proof and sweet that it's not going to wreck you. At 9 o'clock in the morning, because that's when I pretty much started drinking. And
it's vacation.
Yeah. Then I had a Four Roses, and I bought a Turkey 101 Rye while I was there, which is one of my new favorite travel whiskeys. So I would always get up. I'd do a workout or something like that, and I'd immediately go home or go to the condo, and I'd make an old fashioned every morning. I made an old fashioned every morning.
Did you ever get crazy with it, like doing a coffee old fashioned or anything like that?
No.
Just a straight, like that was your recovery drink? Was
just
an old fashioned?
I would drink a cup of coffee before I did my workout.
There you go.
And then post workout, it would be kind of early. Kids were still waking up, and I would always make an old fashioned. April would have one sometimes, and then I made friends with the bartenders at the pool bar, the beach bar. Like where we were staying, you could go to a pool area, and there was a bar, and like they had like food and stuff, and then you could walk out to the beach.
Yeah.
So it was like in between. So I would get like. Man, I was getting like these things called Hurricane 5, like 5-degree hurricanes or whatever. And the guy has like 5, like just random like
Amazing.
spirits, and he's just pouring them all in there. I'm like,
so
oh
good.
my god! But then they like they found out I was from Kentucky because I was getting like whiskey sours and stuff like that, and they were like, here, you can have a free shot with all your drinks, but they would give me Southern Comfort. So I
rolled my eyes, but it's very nice of them to do that.
So I had a lot of Southern Comfort as like a side shot with my
so funny
pool cocktails. So I was drinking Long Island iced teas. One day I was drinking these Hurricanes. I was drinking a Bahama Mama one day. I've drank so many like beach poolside cocktails the last week that having like coming home and just pouring some Russell's Reserve was like a new experience for me. Because one thing, when you're gone for a while and you only take like 3 bottles and whether you're drinking those neat like before bed or you're making old fashioned out of it, they get old kind of quick.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So yes, I had a Russell's Reserve when I came back yesterday, and it was just great.
How was that just yesterday? Well, it was 2 days ago.
What was yesterday?
Yesterday was Sunday. Wasn't it? Oh, wait, no, you did get home on Sunday.
Yeah.
Golly, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I did talk to you this morning.
Yeah. So we were in Hilton Head for 8 days. And it was fun. Did a lot of putt-putt golf, a lot of touristy stuff. We went to Savannah. I had
yeah, man.
Had some cool stuff in Savannah.
I love Savannah. It's so pretty.
So yeah, like random neat bourbon at the condo, but a lot of just crazy, just so many different alcohols in one thing, and here put it in some ice and go. So yeah, I went from Florida, flew back, drove to Hilton Head, and I was in Hilton Head, and then I got back yesterday. A lot of...
It's exhausting.
It is.
Yeah. What do you think about this before we go too far?
That smells like chocolate syrup. It smells like chocolate and raisins. Ooh, I like that. That it tastes like chocolate raisins. It tastes like getting close to me. What are you doing? Oh, I like this. I like this energy. Oh no.
He did it.
Oh no.
He did it. He found a Texas bourbon he likes. It's the Still Austin Oated Bourbon. It's good. It's different. It's not your standard like run of the mill.
I can't say oh, you tricked me, it's Wild Turkey 101.
It does have Turkey 101 on the bottom of the glass.
Now I'm not going to trust you. I really believe this is Turkey 101. This is our French oak Turkey 101. No, I'm a man of I'm a man of respect, integrity, and honor. And if this is a Texas whiskey, then I can say I like this.
It's finally happened.
Still Austin Oated Bourbon. What is oated bourbon?
It's got oats in the.
So they had to do something to it.
They had to, but it still counts. It still counts, doesn't it?
It does. I'll take it. I'll give them a half a point.
All right, fair enough. Yeah.
No, that's pretty good. Yeah. That tastes like chocolate covered raisins. It tastes like Raisinets.
I like it quite a bit, honestly.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm not mad at it at all.
I wouldn't resist that. I will admit defeat today that this is a Texas whiskey.
It's a day of firsts here on Timbit.
New rivals and new likes.
So I'm gonna back up to the Florida trip that I was on with Lucy's family almost a month ago at this point, 3 or 4 weeks ago. We always do a layover, whatever, in Disney for a night on our way down to the beach in Florida, just because, it's a 16-hour drive, and the only time you really want to do that is when you're on your way home, because you just want to push through and be in your own bed. You don't want to have to stay at a hotel. You've already packed up and everything.
We didn't even stop at Cracker Barrel on our way home. We're like, we got to get home.
Okay, that brings up a good question. When you're on the road home, excuse me, grab food to eat in the car or sit down at a restaurant
on the way home or down
on any kind of road trip. If you're going to the beach say is 8 or 9 hours away.
Yeah, that's about what. Yeah.
What do you all do? What do you prefer as well?
Drive through.
Got to be drive through, man.
Drive through, get there at a decent hour, have fun, and then you can go sit down somewhere that night or order pizza.
Or the next night. Yeah.
No, and then
I'm the
on the way home, and it's just like you said, it's weird. We stopped and got a big McDonald's breakfast, like some extra biscuits and stuff. So like a couple hours in the trip, they still wanted something.
Yeah.
And I was like, we ain't stopping until we run out of gas, or not run out of gas, which that would have been stupid, but until we need gas.
AAA, how can we help you? Are you in a safe location?
And then go to one of the gas stations.
I'm on 75 and my car's out of gas and my kids are yelling at me. Please hurry.
I fucked up, man. I messed up. Game over, man. But yeah, on the way home, you get to the gas station that has like one of the restaurants attached to it, get some gas, grab some to go, and get back on the road.
Exactly. This was also the trip that I decided that I don't like Buc-ee's anymore.
God, I can only do Buc-ee's like one time a year.
Oh yeah, I love their food, and their gas is usually a little bit cheaper too, but everybody knows about Buc-ee's now, and it's just a hassle to get in and out of there, unless it's super early in the morning or super late at night.
Yeah.
Those are the only two times. It's like a 4 or 5 hour window when the sun's not up.
It's like
and most everybody's asleep.
It's like going to the ER. You don't want to go during the day.
No,
you go to early in the morning or late at night.
I just got real tired of Buc-ee's really quickly. It's gotten so expensive too. Like just grabbing a brisket sandwich is like $8.
Yeah, I ain't trying to spend that.
And it's not a whole anyway. Beside the point.
So Florida, tell me about.
So we got to Disney, sat down for dinner. I had a couple smoked turkeys. Incredible cocktail. One of the best bourbon cocktails I've ever had. In my entire life. The next morning, we had plans. We had reservations for Chef Mickey's at the Contemporary. And I'll throw pictures up on screen. I haven't even posted them on social media or anything, but Eden got to meet Mickey and Minnie and
Donald.
It was just magical, man. She was like starstruck,
and it won't change because when we had our brunch at Riviera, it was a character one, and Addison, being almost 15 years old, still acted like the little kid, just like she was when she was Eden's age.
But even like now, I turned 30 next month, and I'm like, I love character stuff like that.
It's the best.
It's just great. There was I'm getting off track. I apologize. The first time that I went to Disney was right after Lucy and I got engaged. Her mom gave us a trip as a engagement present. It was phenomenal. We did a character meet and greet with Aladdin and Jasmine.
Yeah.
And I was a big Doctor Who fan at the time. I'm still a big Doctor Who fan, but around that time, Matt Smith's Doctor, the 11th Doctor, was still kind of on TV, and he was really well known for wearing a fez.
Yeah.
And Aladdin wears a fez. And I went up to Aladdin and I said, I really like your fez. Like, just kind of like, making conversation. And his response was, which is something that Matt Smith's doctor said, yeah, fezzes are cool. And I just lost it. I was like, that is the best thing ever. And I still look for those little moments. I had a friend who was, he's still alive, but he was Peter Pan for a little while.
Oh, he's hard to find because sometimes he just jumps around in the garden.
Yeah, we got to see him in character as Peter Pan. That was unbelievable, just because he was so. I don't know. There's like a switch that those cast members, those actors, can flip, where you just don't even know that that's not their personality 100% of the time. And it's just it's so good. He took care of us. We got like front of the line rides for a couple of, I can't even remember. It's been a while since.
Oh, those were paper fast passes back then.
Yeah. Well, this was this particular trip, when we saw him, this was actually, I think, after we got married.
Oh, okay.
On our way down to our honeymoon, we did a day at Magic Kingdom, and I think he was Peter Pan.
Y'all went to Netherland.
I don't know if I've talked about this on the show before, but that was the day that the boy got dragged into the water by an alligator and he died.
At Caribbean Beach.
Yeah, he was like 6 or 7 years old. Just horrible, horrible stuff.
Anyway.
So the next morning we had breakfast plans, and I wanted to get the Whiskey Mutant cold brew special.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I had one of those too.
I'm so jealous because I went up to the coffee bar because we rode the monorail for a little bit. We went over to
Polynesian.
The Polynesian. They have a coffee bar there. And I was like, okay. I was talking to the barista. I was like, my buddy always comes here and gets your drink.
Yeah.
And he goes, cool. We can't do any of that. No cold brew, no Jameson. They had Kahlua. I think I did a shot of Kahlua and of Bailey's.
Yeah.
Which at least they had Bailey's. But it was just, it wound up being, and like I created my own little thing, which was iced coffee, 2% milk. Could have skipped out on the milk. There was enough cream in the liqueurs.
In the bedroom.
No.
Okay, sorry.
No. Shot of Kahlua, shot of Bailey's. And I mean, it was good. It was really easy to drink.
Yeah.
But it was also for two, because I got one for myself and one for Lucy, $40.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so.
I was in a bad mood after that. I mean, as bad of a mood as you could be at Disney.
Right.
Because, like, after that, my kid got to meet Mickey and Minnie. And, like, I didn't say this. When she met Minnie leaned down. She like squatted down to get on Eden's eye level. Eden squatted down with her.
Oh,
too. It was so cute.
That's so cute.
It was adorable. Anyway, here's the thing. What?
It's at if you're there, it's at the Joffrey stand, and you got to message me or comment to ask me what it is, because I'm not going to go through it because I've said it before, and if you've listened to the show, then you know. If not, message me and I'll tell you the secret mutant coffee.
Anyway, I still want to try it.
Well,
so
we'll get you one someday.
When we were in Florida, when we were at the beach, I brought a bunch of bottles. Granddad 114, Benchmark Full Proof. I brought the rest of our French oak finished turkey.
Finish that up,
handle.
baby.
Well, it wound up being like a bourbon and Coke pour for a lot of people.
I bet that was good.
It was really good. I didn't have it I had like a sip or two just because people were, drinking on it, and I was just curious. But, and then I walked over to the like Island Mart, and they had ECBPA 123. I was like, yoink.
Hello.
That's for me. And that got me through the rest of the week. But anyway, so not last week, but the week before, I had to go to a training for work in Salt Lake City.
I'm so jealous of
Utah.
this. Not the work thing.
No, you just you wait, man. And I had been kind of like craving going out west. I hadn't been out west since I think 2017 when we did a road trip with Lucy's family. And it wasn't even like to go and like experience a whole lot of it. It was just kind of like to be there. Like my mental health needed that going and being in the mountains. And Salt Lake City is so cool. It's basically completely 360 degrees surrounded by mountains, and it's just like a cereal bowl. Ooh. And that's where the city is. And the city is perfectly gridded out from the middle outwards.
Yeah.
Like it's City Hall, and then it's gridded out in every direction. It's so efficient. The streets are ridiculously wide, not like just narrow and like all trying to fight with each other like it is in Lexington. We land in Salt Lake, and I had messaged Jason Newman, who, friend of the show, know through the podcast as well, have been to Whiskey Weekends with him and his wife,
Natalie.
My brain just completely shut off there for a second.
He's on they do a live stream ever so
yeah,
often.
flannel panel streams.
Panel.
And I messaged Jason and I said, I'm going to be in Salt Lake next week. I've got a buddy from work that, we got to be there for a training and everything. Would love to see you. And he goes, I'll pick you up from the airport. I'm like, okay. Drove us around Salt Lake City, took us to lunch at a German restaurant. At that point, it was like 1 p.m. in Salt Lake City, which meant it was about 3 p.m. at home. And I had to be up at 3 a.m. to get to the airport because our flight left at 6. Right. So be there at 4, check in and everything. And that was basically 12 hours where I had not only not eaten at all, but like not slept very much. And I was like, let's just go for broke. And they brought me the biggest stein of beer that they could have. It was like 64 ounces of beer or whatever. Like your hand's shaking, like it's hard to pick it up.
Thor's hammer.
Yeah, exactly. Incredible. I got bratwurst while I was there too.
And then you got some brats.
Oh, heck yeah, dude. I didn't even have anything to follow up with that. I was just excited about bratwurst. Brats, bro. So we got to our hotel, checked in, I took a little nap, and then Jason and Natalie came and picked us up for dinner. He did a slow roast beef for us in his crock pot. He had it on for like 8 hours. Potatoes and
sounds like Jason
and corn. It was absolutely incredible. He's like, "There's the beer fridge. Get whatever beer you want." Had a beer from. It was a pale ale from. Oh, it's gonna come to me because I went there for dinner too the last night that I was there. I'll get back to it in a minute. It absolutely incredible.
Salt Lake Suckers.
No, but it did start with an S.
Suckers of Salt Lake.
No. Squatters craft beer.
Same reason you got to move out of your house.
Resisting the urge to throw my phone. Full suspension pale ale is what I had. And then we got done with dinner. He's like, "You want to go see the bar?" Downstairs.
What if he would have brought you all the way there and he was like, "Sorry, next."
Yeah, it's under construction.
Sorry. You got to come twice before you can see the bar.
We started out with a 1986 Wild Turkey 8-year 101 proof decanter. That was unbelievable. Oh, I also went to OBC a few weeks ago, too. Had their new Willet pick, which was amazing, and their new Weller Antique 107 pick, also incredible. Sorry. I didn't mean to rub it in, but,
I'm about to rub it out.
That's fair. He also, I looked over at...
You're like, what is that over there?
Kind of. I looked over at his collection, at their collection, and there were 3 Knob Creek picks that stood out to me. Stay in Your Lane, Magic Gallon Batch, and Bourbon Karma, which I was present for all 3 of those barrels getting picked at Whiskey Weekend Batch 1.
Yeah.
I was the inspiration for the name Stay in Your Lane because
you always say what they say, what the podcast.
That's what Will and Grease would say. Mostly Will. Sorry, Will, love you. Would say during that time just about my, kind of position within the bourbon community or the podcasting community, which was stay in your lane. It was said in jest, but also I was like, and so I had each one of those, and
out of the three though,
Bourbon Karma. Bourbon Karma is one of the best Knob Creek bourbon picks I've ever had in my entire life. And up against 13, 14, 15-year-old picks.
I love that Magic Knob Creek pick.
Magic Gallon batch. Mm-hmm. I haven't had it. I mean, I guess I had it there. Actually, did I? No, I think I was very selective at that point because I was trying to take care of my buddy from work. And I was like, I didn't want to be like out of my gourd either. So I was like, well, I'll have a little bit here and there.
Right.
But and I forgot to bring it because I wound up sampling out a little bit just so I could bring it home to you. But on the shelf was the podcast pick, Ain't Half Bad.
Yeah.
Again, one of my favorite Knob Creek picks.
That's really
of all
good
time.
too.
It was a 13-year pick. I think it came out the year of Whiskey Weekend Batch 2.
That would be about right.
I think that's when it was. We were packing up, getting ready to go back to the hotel, and Jason's like, "What do you want to take with you?" I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "I really wanted my coworker to try like some Jack Daniel's barrel proof. He'd never had it before, and I also wanted him to try Ain't Half Bad." And Jason's like, "Just take it with you." So I wound up with like a 200 ml flask of Jack Daniel's pick and about half a bottle of Ain't Half Bad.
Nice.
He was like, "I got some more over there. It's fine. Don't worry about it." So drank on that in the hotel room the rest of the week. And, I had sample bottles. I'd never traveled with sample bottles before. And it was so surprisingly easy.
Yeah.
I mean, unpainful. Not painful? Whatever. Okay. I didn't check a bag, so I didn't take a full bottle or anything. I was only gone for 4 days, so it's not like I needed a whole home bar or anything anyway.
Or did you?
I definitely did, because Salt Lake City is a primarily Mormon town. So a lot of craft breweries, a lot of restaurants who will not serve you bourbon neat. The hotel where we stayed, they had a sign up at the bar. They never put their full bar up, right? They had a sign up at the bar that said, it had like 4 bullet points. The first one was
no blands.
All alcohol must be served with food.
Oh my God.
Mormons.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of the other ones was, we do not, cannot, and will not serve liquor straight up. I was like, why bother? I walked around the corner to, the sketchy liquor store that was behind the hotel. And I got Turkey 101 for...
And you opened it right there on the street. Just drank it
almost
from the neck.
Dude, I don't think I would have been arrested for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Salt Lake, man. It was so good. And then last week I was home on my own. Lucy and Eden were on vacation, and I don't know, with the move, my budget's really limited, so Benchmark Foolproof. However, I did find Larceny B523.
Baby, you made me jealous. With
Just
that one.
slightly above retail. It was the last bottle, or I would have gotten the other one for you if there had been a second one. Man, it's just Heaven Hill is killing it this year with their barrel proof batches,
I agree.
as you probably know from a couple episodes ago.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's been my journey over the past few weeks.
All around the
I
place.
suppose. Yeah, we've just been, and like I almost went up to Virginia too to see Lucy and Eden, which is where they were, and last minute I wasn't able to go, and I mean, the amount of states that I've been in, I had a ridiculously long layover in Dallas on our way home from Salt Lake.
What'd you drink there? Beer.
Oh yeah, I had a beer. We went into their it was like the TGI Fridays quick service or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I've been to that one. I got my flight.
Did you really?
My flight from San Diego one year when I was visiting friends out there.
Yeah.
Was Dallas, and it got delayed, and I just hung out in that little TGI Fridays.
Yeah. I mean, we stayed there for a little bit. My coworker didn't really want to drink too much. I was like, I understand. I could have spent the whole day. We wound up being there for 6 hours, 7 hours, something like that, because the plane was late. Once it got there, it needed maintenance. Then they kept delaying our flight. Then they moved us to another gate, which was like clear across the airport. And so, yeah, it was exhausting. But yeah, I had my best friend from middle school, he and his wife and son live in Dallas. And he has always talked about their craft beer scene. And I was like, well, I'm here. I may as well, like, if they have any of the craft beer that he talks about at this TGI Fridays, I'm going to get it. And she was like, the waitress asked if I wanted to try their, it's Deep Ellum Brewery IPA. Stellar. Absolutely incredible.
Nice.
So, Austin, I'm finally able to recommend the beer that you've
There you
been
go, Austin.
telling me to try
Shout out
for
Austin.
years. You all would get along like two peas in a pod. I mean, I would love the next time that he and his wife are here, I would love for you all to meet each other and hang out, because I know the roast that's ahead of me if I do that, but I'm willing to take it. But anyway,
let's do it, Austin.
I think that's about it for that. Do you want to review something?
Let's review something.
Are you fading? Are you getting sleepy?
No, I'm actually feeling good. I'm just thinking about the people listening. They're like, we want to hear something new. We don't want to hear about y'all anymore. You think anybody says that?
I don't know.
Maybe. I just made that voice up. I was just thinking of somebody.
I don't know who this is, but they're unhappy with us. Why are you listening to this podcast anyway?
That was the voice of the guy who turns on the podcast and fast forwards it just to the reviews.
Yeah. Sorry, Gary.
No, it's Yeah.
Yep. Well, because we are on the eve of July 4th, and we normally celebrate a particular bird on nope, not yet.
Oh.
Wait until they pay for it. We normally celebrate a particular bird for Independence Day. I figured we would try a whiskey that doesn't have that bird in its name, but does have a bird that was proposed by Benjamin Franklin to be our...
This should be the bird.
This should be the bird.
I vote for this to be the bird.
So it is Turkey 101 12 year, which we have not had yet and have been just dying to get our hands on. And I think that this is also pretty appropriate because this sample comes from our once dear friend, but now they've apparently gone the way of Eric's middle school love life.
Yeah.
My Daily Bourbon gave us this sample.
It's a good guy.
I'm pretty sure.
Appreciate Chad for all he does.
Wish him all the best.
He's doing cool things, and thanks, Chad. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, dude.
Oh, that smells really good.
So this is it's one of those like duty free only or export only bottles. You travel abroad, and then you can get it in their duty free shops. Also, Dallas and Salt Lake, step up your duty free game.
Duty.
All you had was like Jack Daniel's 80 and Jim Beam Apple. It was bad, man.
I want to drink some Jim Beam Apple.
Okay. You do you, homie. This actually smells kind of appley.
I know.
Apple the app.
Turkey, honestly, whether it's the rye or just, they are one of the most appley to me, like green apple.
Yeah.
In a lot of their stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a caramel apple. Like, you get the fair, and it has to be green, and it's like the caramel is right on top, but you still see the green peel.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little, almost buttery too. It's like butter. I don't know if that's nuts, maybe.
There's a teeny tiny little bent bit.
A teeny tiny little bend in here.
There's a teeny tiny little hint of cinnamon spice
I can see that.
as well. I mean, just kind of, it's like just a dusting, a light dusting of cinnamon spice.
Oh, speaking of Ben, I ran into, so when I was at Hollywood Studios.
Oh yeah.
So I did we had a ticket to where you could stay at Hollywood Studios till 1 a.m.
I love those.
And
because you were staying on property and you had the extended magic hours. Right?
No, this was like a special ticket.
Oh.
This was not the extended
okay.
hours. This was everybody has to leave. And from 10 to 1, we rode every ride, and the longest we waited was 5 minutes. But my friend Ben, who I worked with at my job for a long time before he moved to Nashville.
Yeah.
He is married to, I think you know her, Taylor.
Yeah,
and
right.
So Taylor and Ben were at the same Hollywood thing, so I hung out with them some while.
How did you all find that out? Like, were you talking beforehand?
He saw that he saw on like Facebook or something that I was in Orlando, and
he just figured you were going to be at Disney World.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, are you going to be at Disney?" And I was like, "Well, the only chance we get is to go to Hollywood." But I said it's this special ticket that I'm only going to be there. He's like, "We got that same thing."
That's so cool, man.
So I saw Ben and
totally
Taylor.
serendipitous.
So
all right.
Cheers, homie.
Cheers. Glad to be back. Thank you for being here.
That's good.
Oh. Okay. The finish is where it really perks up.
I was going to say, this is good. It's not a whole lot different than just a really good, like, turkey 101 or like but then the finish.
But
hits.
the oak, I mean, I guess really just the age, I'm starting to feel more in like my gums.
Yeah, I feel it on the side of my cheeks.
It's definitely a more
oak spice.
Yeah, it's a more full experience than just 101.
Yeah,
is because I mean that's a blend of 6, 8, and 10 or something like that. I'm sorry, Dave Jennings.
It's like you take your turkey 101, and it always has that kind of cinnamon, that rye spice, really right up front. That you're like, oh, this is turkey 101.
Yeah,
but that's not here. This is like okay, and then all of a sudden you get that finish, and you start getting that oak spice, and you're like, oh, it's not a funky turkey.
Mm-mm.
It's not like a dusty funk turkey. It's
clean.
It's very clean. I'm just going to start saying smooth for everything. I don't care. It's very smooth. But smooth as in like it just rolls through your from the tip of your tongue down to the finish, and it's not got a big hug, but it's got a really throat finish, like a throat heavy finish. If that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of that spice really hangs out in your throat for sure. I like it, man. I like it a lot. Here's what's weird about it to me. I don't know if I drink this and I go, I want this over regular 101.
Mm-mm.
I think this is just a completely different experience from the typical shelf standard 101.
It's a different experience, but it's not one that makes me instantly go, hold on, I got to go text somebody that I know travels, get me this bottle.
Yeah. But still, like, I kind of want it in my collection.
Right.
You know? I had to throw away. So heartbreaking story here, ladies and gentlemen. God. Get your tissues out or else you're going to be left up creek without a paddle. My 13-year turkey and my birth year turkey, the corks had both gotten so bad that air leaked into both of those bottles.
Did you just chug them?
No, dude, they were cloudy.
Oh, no. They weren't even like chuggable?
Mm-mm.
Hold on. Moment of silence. In the arms of the angel. Okay. That sucks.
Heartbreaking, man. I was cleaning out the bourbon closet or the bourbon cabinet, excuse me. And I got to my turkey shelf and they were it was that like milky color that bourbon that's been oxidized gets. So
when you leave it beside the bed for too long, you're like, oh, there's that Glen, and it's like, what is in this?
What happened?
Oh, but anyway, yeah, I love the nose on this probably more than the palate. But I get kind of the same notes.
Yeah.
And it's very, like you said, it resembles Turkey 101. But then it smooths it out. It's got a great finish. Real cinnamon heavy on the finish, I would say.
I actually don't know what the price is, so $80. Oh wait, no, that's Russell's.
I learned that the suggested retail price in Japan.
Oh, here we go. A friend of mine paid about $115 in Korea. So I guess we could roughly call it. Oh, in Japan converts roughly to $60. I think I'm comfortable saying it's 80.
Okay. We're going to put it to a little comparison before.
Daddy like.
Russell's 13. This is
now
2022.
It's not a perfect comparison.
I said kinda or something. It's close to the same year, same mash bill. It's just
higher proof.
Yeah. So then we could say, what if they did a barrel proof turkey 101? But then it wouldn't be turkey 101.
I miss being able to get vintage turkey for a reasonable price. Those were fun times.
I punch myself.
Yeah.
Because I think what I could have got.
I think about too, like, you know, even finding like old label 101 in like handles or whatever. It was such a treat.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, when they actually had the handle on it.
Yeah.
I love those.
It's completely gone now.
You know, these don't smell too off from each other. They are definitely a Jimmy and a Perry.
How are they so similar?
That's what I'm saying. I think
they're like identical.
Yeah. They are way close, bro.
I think the 12 year is just a little bit lighter because it is 101 proof as opposed to the what what is it? 113?
114.
114 on the Russell's 13.
114.8.
I'm going to go 12 year first.
Okay. Yeah, still appley. Cinnamon. Lots of cinnamon apples on the palate.
Still good, man. All right.
It's the proof.
It's absolutely the proof that puts this.
From the tip of your tongue down to the finish, which goes longer, there is extra layers on that Russell's. So, but that's the closest thing I could compare it to. I don't even have Turkey 101 down here.
Yeah, that's, you couldn't do anything more apt, I think, than just.
But on the nose.
This. Oh, the nose. I think, and even like going back a little bit between the two, I was able to pick up distinct differences. But at first glance, they're so similar.
Yeah.
Between the two. I guess we got to give this the nose, palate, finish, price.
I guess if we're reviewing it, we got to.
Yeah. So nose, palate, finish, and price. Each category is out of 5. Final scores out of 20. Yeah. That's how we've been doing it since day one, practically, here on this My Bourbon Podcast. I want to say this about the nose too, not to like influence your score or anything, but the fact that it is, and Russell's 13 is so highly regarded by people. The fact that you can get the same nose on a product that is 1 year younger and half the price, is pretty remarkable.
Right.
I think that at the very least, it shows that Wild Turkey is so deep, complex, rich, and it gives the whiskey the chance to kind of breathe even at younger age statements.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't be mad about it. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5.
4.
Yeah.
4.
Killer. Walk me through how you think about the palate on this one.
The palate, I will say, it reminds me of 101, just smoother. It's got the edges, those rough edges of 101 that kind of give you that bite, that rye spice, and kind of that kick of 101 with, I would say, probably because of the younger age and the blending and all that stuff. I don't get that, but it's comforting. It's a very like smooth, like flow from your tongue. There, it's not, nothing jumps out at me.
Yeah.
It's good. Reminds me of 101, just a smoother version. I give it a 3.
I found myself kind of going on a little bit more of a journey with it than I think you did. It pops a lot at the front, dips in the middle, and then once it starts to kind of go into the finish, it picks back up. And I think that the back end of the palate is really where the spice and the oak start to push through.
Yeah.
But that like initial sip, just as it's like hanging on like the tip of your tongue.
Yeah.
Then the caramel starts to come out. Then a little bit of like milk chocolate starts to show up as well. But yeah, it's really not until the finish that it really, really shines through for me. But I don't think I can disagree with a 3.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know. It's the more divisive part of,
right.
of this whole thing. So yeah, I'm with you.
It depends.
On a 3.
It just depends on what you're wanting. Are you wanting like that, a little bit of extra bite, a little bit of roughness, or are you wanting just that kind of smooth sip that you could sit with for a little bit? And turkey, I tend to want a little bit of a bite. But as far as the finish go, I think the finish kind of goes back up a little bit for me. I'm a 3.5 on the finish. I think you get that oak spice and everything kind of heading down towards the throat at that point, and that kind of gets that little bit of a bite for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not upset with a 3.5. I initially was kind of thinking 4, but I don't think that it's popping enough by the time that it gets to the finish to actually call it a 4.
Yeah.
I'll go with, I don't know. Part of me kind of wants to go back to a 3.
Just do what your heart says.
It's long.
Do what your heart says.
I'm going to go with a 3.
Okay.
$60 though, $80.
Oh my God.
That's the 5. I mean, honestly, like if you're looking at the maybe more like a 4, 4.5.
I was going to say a 4.5.
Yeah, I think it's 4.5.
If somebody could get me this for $80,
I'd probably buy 2.
I was going to say, how many can you get me?
Yeah.
Because we can't get Russell's 13, and now Russell's 13 is $150.
Yeah.
So, you find me this for $80, I'll buy 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm comfortable with a 4.5. That gives me a 14.5 out of 20. I think that gives you a 15 out of 20.
Yeah, 15 out of 20.
Yeah. I think that this is one of those that, so one of the things as we were doing our minor amount of research that we found was that on secondary, it goes for about $280. I don't think it deserves that price.
No, I guess once again,
you do whatever you want to. It's your money. Who cares?
If you
I don't care.
If you don't think you can ever get it other than on secondary and you really want it, then feel free, go for secondary, get it. I mean,
it's your money. It's your choice.
It's your money. I mean, as far as the secondary price, $200 to $250 was. I would probably be like, oh, okay, it's a little high, but
the worst thing you could do in this scenario, say it's $200.
Yeah.
Right. You got yourself and you got 3 other friends.
Yeah. Maybe even 4 friends.
Sure. So, but I mean, like you could take $40, $50 a piece.
Just buy it
split
together.
That bottle up. And you could
share your bourbon amongst
with
yourself.
people that you are acquaintances.
And what's the difference in going to a bar
Nothing.
And paying that much for a pour?
You're paying more. You're probably paying more at a bar than you actually are per drink if you buy on secondary.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Oh, early hot take. I like it.
I've actually got a positive hot take. I feel like our hot takes are always
a positive hot take.
Yeah, like a encouraging.
A cold take?
No,
warm take.
Anyway.
A comfort take.
Yeah, sure. Comfort take.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway. Do whatever you want to.
Do whatever you want.
Buy this bottle if you want. I think it's good. I think if your palate's aligned with us, you're going to find this to be largely kind of satisfying. But I don't really think that the mark is so far above what you get with regular on the shelf 8-year 101.
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, not even 8-year, just 101.
Give me that 8-year age statement 101.
I want that. I want that over the 12-year.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I approve hot takes.
Now I want to hear I'll save mine. I don't even know if I've got one. But
this isn't even really like a anything in particular that set this off. I was just kind of thinking about it today, and like having learned the patience that comes with having a toddler. I think that this is not trying to be a commentary on society or whatever.
We are a society.
We live in a society. I think you should encourage your kids to be kids.
Oh, definitely.
I was thinking about, you talking about your youngest and kind of forgetting that
he's the youngest.
He's the youngest and he's in a particular age bracket. And, there's going to be things that he enjoys that are separate from his siblings. And, and kind of the other part of it too is that I'm not trying to make excuses for the way that my toddler behaves in public. She's not perfect. I'm the first to admit it. But kids are going to cry.
Kids are going to be kids.
They're going to be kids. And I think that the more that we force them or encourage them to be older than they are, the more damage it can do to them. And you know, I always got the comment of, "You're such an old soul." I was like, well, I was expected to behave a particular way.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, like, there's part of it too, where it's like, yeah, there's probably a little bit wiser, a little bit more, you know, whatever.
There's a difference between teaching your kids to be respectful in public and do stuff and letting them be their age. Don't teach them to be older than what they are. Teach them manners that they, at that age, can comprehend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, don't expect them to do all this stuff when they haven't learned it and they haven't done it, but teach them manners that they understand.
It's so good. Sorry. I think on the flip side of that too, it's almost like encouraging parents to learn patience with your kid too. And like, you're going to have things where it annoys you. Like some of their habits, and like that's just part of it. But I don't know. I don't want to look back on my children's lives and go, man, they were so annoying when they were this age, or that this particular era was particularly frustrating for me.
I miss a lot of things from when my kids were young.
It's the innocence, man.
It's
that gentle little innocence.
At the time that I was like, oh my God, I can't wait till they can walk on their own, or I can't wait till they can do this on their own. And now I'm like, man, I miss being able to do this.
I'm a squishy little baby.
Yeah. Now they're turds.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just, you know, going through so many life changes right now and thinking about the future, and it's got me being more introspective and thinking about too, like, you know, and I'm not saying this is happening right this second, but you know, we're not terribly far away from trying to have another kid.
Yeah.
And so there's a part of me too that I think even like involuntarily is being more introspective and going, what can you learn from the first kid that you can implement with the next one, you know? And you know, we're all our own biggest critics.
I was going to say, and the bad thing is the second kid, at least in my experience, turns out completely opposite from the first kid. And so then
that's going to happen, man. I fully believe so.
So then you turn around and you have to adapt and figure it out. Because
I mean, we were super, super lucky and blessed with a baby that didn't have, what's it called when they won't sleep through the night and they cry?
Cock block syndrome.
Wow. That thing, whatever it's called. But like she slept through the night, you know? She never woke up with like a vigor of, I need all the attention right now. You know, she was a pretty easy baby.
Yeah.
She's gotten more difficult the older she's gotten, but
she's a little sassy princess now.
Yeah, exactly. I love her to death. I was out in the garage packing stuff up and moving stuff. I was sweating just tremendously. And I bend down and give her a big hug, not thinking about that, like my shirt is just soaking wet.
Yeah.
Give her a big hug, and she kind of steps back and looks down at her shirt and goes, I'm all wet now.
Like, what the hell, Dad?
Where did this come from? And she kind of looked at me and she's like, Daddy all wet? Feeling my forehead.
Like, I smell horrible.
Something doesn't smell right. It was so funny. Anyway, yeah, that's my hot take. Just let your kids be kids. You know, they'll figure it out. And you'll figure it out with them. Be patient.
It's a learning experience for sure.
Tips and bits. I was zooming around the microphone.
Like tips and bits in space.
We're running a little bit longer than I intended.
I'll do a quick one.
Yeah, go for it.
Wrestling professional wrestling is hot right now.
Yeah, man. You went to go see, I almost said
SmackDown.
Rampage.
I got to go see SmackDown before I went on vacation. My buddy Tom, a.k.a. Baron Corbin, got to see him. Took the boys. Great show. Tom is... he's going back and forth between SmackDown and NXT, and he came back as the Lone Wolf. So if you've been following Baron Corbin, he was the Lone Wolf for a while. Then he became Commissioner Corbin, and then he was like poor Corbin, where he was just down on his luck, and then he was happy Corbin, and he's been all these Corbins, but he's the Lone Wolf, which is the badass coming in just beating people's asses. But got to see SmackDown. But as far as like everything as a whole in professional wrestling, it's so good. The Bloodline storyline in WWE is amazing. That's the Roman Reigns and his cousins Jimmy and Jey Uso. One of the best stories right now.
Cool.
Then you go into AEW, and they have some good stories, but their actual matches are some of my favorite. They just recently had a match with Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, which amazing. Yeah. They've told their story in the ring pretty much. Okada from New Japan was on AEW, which is one of my favorite. He wrestled Bryan Danielson. Amazing. Money in the Bank just happened. Mm-hmm. The women probably had the best Money in the Bank match to me. Just all around professional wrestling right now is...
John Cena showed up.
Cena showed up. Had to. So I'm real happy with professional wrestling right now, because it's kind of like bourbon releases. Like, you'll have some really
waves,
good ones, and then you'll be like, come on, guys, like, what is this? What is going on? And then all of a sudden they'll start having something good. Yeah. So yeah, tips and bits right now. I think right now is a good time to be watching some professional wrestling.
Nice. I don't know, man. I don't really. I've been kind of busy.
You have.
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit. We both watched John Mulaney's new stand-up special.
We did.
As well, Baby J.
Talking about his experience in rehab.
Yeah. Really good, man. And not, I would say not his strongest stand-up special, but I think it's the most honest one that he's done.
Little spoiler alert. He starts it out because there's like a little kid in the audience watching, and it sets the show up perfect, because he probably didn't expect this to happen, but it's kind of like, don't follow in my footsteps or what you're about to hear. And I thought it was, after listening to watching the whole thing on Netflix, it's good. He's John Mulaney. Like, I think you just gotta, if you like John Mulaney, you're going to love this. It's good.
He was just on Hot Ones as well, which was a really, really good episode. Wait until you see his reaction to the bomb. I don't want to spoil anything. Yeah, and that's about it for tips and bits. And I think that's about it for this episode.
You know what is the bomb?
We were running.
Patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast, where as little as $1 a month you can help the show.
The standoff that we just had between each other, which was like, who's going to finish their bit first?
That's what we do.
Support the show.
$5 a month, you can get all the bonus stuff, uncut episodes each week. We get pregame chatty. We talk about stuff before the main episode, and we have a special episode. Pours from the Floor, Simply Irresistible. We do some extra stuff every once in a while. Go to patreon.com/MyBourbonPodcast.
Yeah.
Support the show. If you want to get some merch, this is mybourbonshop@gmail.com. No, actually, that's the email. bourbonshop.threadless.com for merch.
I was just going to roll with it, man.
For merch. If you
I wasn't going to say anything.
If you want to send an email, you can send an email to this is mybourbonshop@gmail.com. We'll answer your questions. You can ask us about barrel picks. reviews, anything you want us to pair, you can get a hold of us there. Perry got a lot of stuff to reply to on there. So get in there. Give him something funny to read.
Yay.
Yay. If you want to go to YouTube, you can. If you're watching, you're already there.
If you want to go to YouTube and just watch something.
Yeah, you can go to YouTube and watch stuff, or you can watch us.
Go watch some, you know what? YouTube recommendation. Anthony and Ian, who founded Smosh, just bought Smosh back.
Oh, yeah?
Privately. And they're doing some really funny content over there. So go watch Smosh.
Tips and bits. But yeah, YouTube. Perry goes live on Thursdays. Right now, it's kind of hit or miss.
I'll be back to normal soon.
If you're listening, you can watch the show if you want to see the visuals of this. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the stuff. You can go to social media at My Bourbon Pod if you want to follow the show. You can follow me at Whiskey Mutant. You can follow Perry, P-Ritter1792. Do we have a Barrel Rings?
No.
But we have a segment called the Barrel Rings where you can call in and be a part of the show. We'll play your voicemail on air and reply back to you. 859-428-8253. Yeah, call that number. You can be a part of the show.
We haven't had one since the meetup weekend.
Okay,
it's been over a month.
We need a Barrel Rings. Somebody said I'm going to be on the Barrel Rings every week. Well, they lied.
What happened to that?
But yeah.
What happened to that?
But then just tell people about us. We love all you guys.
We do.
You can share the show. Just tell people about us. Rate, comment, all that stuff on all the podcast apps you use. And that's it. That's a podcast.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry. I was going through Rarebird 101.
I thought that was a message to you and it said Larry. I was going to say, did they call you Larry? Larry Ritter? Because people have done that.
That's happened so many times.
I paid for a cake that said, thank you, Perry. And they said, thank you, Larry.
So good. Anyway, that does it for this week. I love you guys so much. Thank you for listening. Hey, I love you.
I love you. It's good to be back.
Next week, I don't know if there's going to be an episode, though.
For now, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah.
For now. Right now.
We're there. We're here. We're everywhere.
All around the world, 999.
Roy Kent. Anyway, let's see you next time. Until then, I'm Perry.
I'm Eric.
And this is My Bourbon Podcast.
See ya.
Toodles.